I'm really excited to be here to talk to you today about some of the advances we've made on our platform. Such a brilliant session this morning. I think that example Fred gave about first service is incredible. Where they concentrate on getting each person to bring someone else to the brand, and the compound effect it had on the growth rates was incredible. And Andy's session as well, talking about a lot of the change that's going on in the world. But for the first few moments, what I wanted to do was, I just wanted to look at a few stats about, as much as the world changes, sometimes the trend is sometimes maybe to keep things as they are, to keep comfort in how you've always seen the world. And this is looking at a Forrester marketing survey for 2023 that was published back in January. And it was looking at some of the top priorities and the top trends that we see. So this was, you can see, these are the top 5 priorities that Forrester talked to almost 1,000 marketing decision makers. And you can see that some of the themes that we see today is some of the things that marketing teams are looking to prioritize. Increased focus on customer experience, which obviously can lead to more advocacy, improving brand perception, increasing our brand's ability to create advocates, and improving effectiveness or return on investment of marketing. These are all things that are important to marketers, perhaps like yourselves. Maybe you see your own priorities being like this, or maybe it being other ones. But some of the challenges that marketing teams continue to face today have remained the same for a number of years, and I just want to highlight a couple of those. The quality of customer data and the inability to act on buyer and customer data. These have been trends that have been around for many years. I'm sure many of you marketers, many of you that are marketers have struggled to be able to maybe pull data in from silos to give you a true 360-degree view of the customer. And even when you do, it's very difficult to understand how to use that data best, how to make sure that every customer touch point is as smart as possible to make sure that you maximize the opportunity of those customers coming back and being able to bring their friends to you as well. It's interesting that, obviously, as a technologist, I'm really happy that marketing teams continue to look to technology to solve those problems. And again, this was taken from the same Forrester marketing survey. So we can see that there's, even though we've seen the tough economic conditions, marketing teams still planned the next 12 months to make further investments. But again, they were trying to solve for those challenges they saw. So we see the investment in customer analytics and insight tools, which is about 25% of those 1,000 respondents said they were going to continue to invest in that area. They were looking stringently at loyalty platforms. Over 20% looked to invest this year. And again, that came down because customer retention has been more important than ever. There was that growth at all costs kind of mentality after COVID, whenever e-com just took off. You know, and it seemed like it was so easy to acquire new customers, and so maybe there wasn't as much focus on retention. But now, as we've seen, as Andy talked about, as the economy has dampened that spend down, as the wallets have become tighter, it's really important that marketing teams look to be able to increase loyalty. And customer journey analytics again. So again, that focus on data, being able to bring data together that you could use to be able to make your customer experience much better. And actually, this one surprised me this was predicted spend in 2023, so we were already about 6 or 7 months into the economic downturn, but yet we see out of all these respondents, over 60% said that they were going to continue to invest in new technologies and in marketing campaigns to try and help them to be able to grow sustainably. And this was similar whether it was in North America or in Europe. But this is one of the things that I want to chat to you a little bit about for a couple of moments, is that whenever brands and marketing teams look at the world's changing, they look at their strategy for the next year, one of the problems you can see is that sometimes you can fall into that pitfall of solving for yesterday's problems, those problems that we highlighted there. And it made me think about a bit of the digital revolution from back at the early 2000s. At that stage, whenever the internet was becoming much more prevalent around the world, e-com was really taking off. There was these large brands like Blockbuster and Sears, Xerox, that really were well-established, multi-billion-dollar companies, but they failed to invest in innovation. And where are they now, whenever you look at the competition around them? So this is one of the pitfalls that I want to chat about today, and how it mentioned me, we want to try and help brands to be able to overcome this. Andy used a couple of great quotes earlier on. This is one that I really like, which is really a universal truth, and we'll talk about why that is. That it's not always the strongest that survives, but the species that survives is the one that is able to best adapt to the changing world around it. And actually, whenever Forbes wrote in 2018, they kind of reflected that universal truth. They said technological change has brought tremendous opportunity for innovative organizations, but it is also driving to extinction companies that fail to adapt. It is not the biggest or most financially stable that survive, but ones that manage to adapt to the pace of change. So this chart on the right-hand side is really interesting. The average age of S&P 500 companies. In the 1950s, it was 60 years. In 2018, it was 20 years. And that's because for businesses, with the change in technology and innovation, it was much easier to scale a business much faster. But it also was much more of a danger for established businesses that weren't thinking about solving tomorrow's problems. They weren't aware of the changing conditions in the market around them. They weren't aware of the technological changes and how they could best use those to adapt for the future going forward. So let's talk about, Andy talked a little bit about one of those changes. Let's talk about everybody's favorite phrase at the moment, generative AI. Generative AI is going to change the world that we know forever. It's going to touch technology everywhere. There's going to be opportunities for businesses to use it, to harness it, to make themselves more effective. But there's also going to make it much more difficult for brands to be able to stand out from the crowd. If you think about search, for example, now, we don't quite know how search is going to change at the moment. But we know at the moment, if you look at your marketing teams, how much time do you spend on optimizing for search? Whether that's SEO or whether it's creating AdWord campaigns that's going to really resonate and allow you to attract new customers. That's all going to change going forward. I'm sure most of you, probably all of you, have used ChatGPT or similar tools at the moment. And what that's going to enable consumers to have is it will almost be like a personal assistant going forward. So whenever you say you want to book a holiday or you want to buy a dress or you want to buy a pair of shoes or you want to buy a car or whatever else it is, it will have learned from who you are and from what your preferences are. What is it you care about a brand? And it'll be returning a brand to you with a product that you want rather than having the opportunity to be able to be discovered and discover new brands. That's going to change that forever. As well as that, Andy touched on this earlier on, is that we already live in such a noisy world for marketing. You know, wherever you turn, somebody's trying to market at you. But that's going to get even noisier as we go forward, because up to now, maybe you needed quite a big team with designers and copywriters to be able to generate the ads that you wanted to use, whether that's in social media or whatever other medium. But now with generative AI, it's going to be possible for a one-man team to be able to do the same thing that it might have took 6 people or 10 people to do previously. So if everybody has the same chance of a voice like that, how do you differentiate again? One of the other advances is going to be around data discovery. So I'm sure that we all, whenever you're a startup, you dream about having data analysts, or you dream about having insights teams that are going to help you to find these unique insights, let you be ahead of the competition, find better segmentation, better personalization. But again, with the AI, this AI revolution, with generative AI, with the models that they're creating now, you'll have one person who not maybe have any background in data analytics will be able to find the same insights as a team of 100 people. Everybody will be on a level playing field. So what are you going to do? How are you going to be able to keep a competitive advantage? How are you going to stand out from the crowd? How are you going to make sure that your customers have a different experience, a differentiated one, rather than the competition? So whenever you're looking at technology, which is going to be part of our lives going forward, you need to consider 2 key factors. One of them, if you look at the problems we had, is will the technology I'm investing in now improve my view of the customer? Will it give me unique views that I didn't have before? And whenever you're choosing a vendor, has that vendor got a clear AI strategy? Are they aware of the advances in technology? Are they going to help me to leverage those going forward? So at Mention Me, we started about 2 years ago, Andy talked about this earlier on, to look at what was going to come and how we could leverage AI going forward. So we started 2 years ago to look at how the LLMs were going to come along. We're going to see much more of the generative AI. And so we started to invest heavily in AI and data engineering. We hired a world-class team that was going to help us to be able to harness the advocacy data that we were able to see that was part of referral, part of other things. We also started to invest heavily in making our platform connected, being able to make sure that we could make the advocacy data available throughout the marketing stack of our customers, again, so they could leverage it at every touch point going forward. And we've also leveraged AI to be able to do things like ECR that Andy talked about earlier on, and some other really cool features that Anke and James will talk about shortly in this issue. But I just want to talk for a moment about why it's important to have advocacy data, how it's going to help you to differentiate going forward, why those insights are so critical. So again, our vision is to make all brands think advocacy first. Andy talked and showed you some of the examples of why that's so important when it comes to what it can do for the economics of your brand. So what do we mean when we talk about the difference between referral and advocacy? Well, referral is tracked or incentivized referral. That's where our heritage is. We've done that for 10 years. We're the clear market leader in it. And by doing that, we allow ourselves to collect that really valuable data to see who is referring to who else, how does that network grow, and how can you nurture those networks to be able to grow more advocacy. Whereas advocacy is much a bigger picture. It includes referral, but it's when a customer shares a positive impression of a brand by any means. And again, getting right down to the nuts and bolts of this, incentivized referral, but look at everything that's included in advocacy: reviews, social media activity, link sharing, word of mouth, gifting, shared interest communities. And the thing is that all of these things will have a data footprint of some description. They should be possible to measure. That's something that Fred mentioned earlier on when it came to the value of referrals. It's only recently we've been able to show the value those referral network can have for your brand. But we are now building a platform powered by AI, which is going to enable you to be able to understand the data footprint of every part of this advocacy and be able to use it then whenever you're talking to your customers. Let me further illustrate why this is important. We live in a 3D world, but this is a one-dimensional view of the world. So it's a line looking forward. And this is a little bit what it looks like. If you're looking at your customer base through the RFM lens, if you're only looking at your customer base through how much they spend or when they've last spent with you or what they last purchased with you, this is a bit what your view of the customer is like. You don't understand why are they buying with you? Are their friends coming and buying with you as well? How do they think about the brand? Would they be likely to advocate for the brand? So in a two-dimensional view, then, we start to get a better picture of what your customer base looks like. This is a little bit like whenever you have that RFM view of the world plus referral. So not only do you understand when they last purchased with you or what it is that they bought or what their favorite product is, but you also understand who they brought to the brand, who their friends brought to the brand, and how much value that has to you going forward. But we talked about advocacy earlier on, and this 3D sphere is to illustrate what your customer base looks like. You're starting to get a full picture of your customer base because you're just starting to understand not only what they bought with you or what they purchased, but also you're starting to see who's referred. Are they ready? Have they left a review? Are they part of a community? How do we measure the word of mouth? All of these things are new measurements that you can have as part of your customer base by using and leveraging advocacy data and advocacy insights. And so you can imagine, I'm sure every one of you in this in the hall today has probably built or used one of these retail customer journey. So up to now, it's been a little bit two-dimensional, sometimes one-dimensional. But you can imagine if you can layer in this advocacy data as if someone's in the buying cycle. But more importantly, if you can understand from an advocacy point of view what they might want to do for the brand when they're outside the buying cycle. Because we all know as consumers, we'd love to have unlimited money to spend, but that's just not the reality. So how can someone bring value to your brand when they're outside this buying cycle? And that's what advocacy data can really help you to understand. And so today, I'm really excited to be able to announce that we're launching the world's first Customer Advocacy Intelligence Platform. This is going to be a first for the world, and this is going to change marketing forever. I want you to think back, for those of you who are old enough, to 2007. Now, I'm not Steve Jobs, I'm not claiming to be, but whenever he stood up and he said about the new iPhone, and Nokia probably sat up, we don't need to worry about this. And we see how much that changed the world because it gave people a new capability, it leveraged new technologies that hadn't been used before. And what we've talked about this morning, what we'll continue to talk about unashamedly is, with advocacy insights, we will help you change the way that marketing think about their customers, how you view your customers, how you nurture your customers, how you grow your customers, and how you make your business sustainable going forward. This is really a proud moment for me because over the past 2 years, we've put together an amazing world-class team that have worked so hard because they're so passionate about making sure that all of you that are customers are going to be successful, and all of you that want to come and work with us are going to be successful in the future going forward. And I just want to thank all of the teams. Some of them are sitting over there. I'd like to give them a round of applause for all of the ones that have been involved in this. Thank you. So just briefly, Ankit and James are going to talk about a lot of detail about what the platform is and how it works and the value that it drives. But at the center, we have this concept of the connected advocacy brain. So for those of you who were here last year, this is when we started to float this concept. But this year, we have worked really hard on it, and that's what powers the platform. This is a connected brain powered by AI, and it looks for advocacy signals across all of these types of tools. We work with some amazing partners, which are our sponsors today, Amaris, Attentive, FIFO, Inkpact. And what we do is we look to bring it into the brain, derive insights, make it actionable for you, and put it into the systems where every system that you talk to your customers. So customer service center, we can make it smarter. Someone is referred multiple times, they're a high value, high ECR customer. You want to treat them differently, maybe route them in through to a human being and rather through maybe to an automated system. Review platforms, understanding when somebody might review, if they have referred or if they haven't reviewed. All of this is what we're using as part of the connected brain. And where we've focused on up to now is around our CRM CDP piece, review platforms and e-com platforms. As I said, we are 2 years into a 5-year journey, and we're really looking forward to showing the capabilities that we're releasing today, or launching today, and what we'll launch in the future. I just want to take it back to this, just to finish off, because I'm no amount of time, I'm going to shout to come down in a minute. But Andy used this slide earlier on, so we looked at high and medium ECR customers. They equate to 40% of the value for one of our customers. We have built a platform, and over the next couple of years, with leveraging AI, we're going to be able to help brands to grow that 10% to 20% to 30% to 40%, help you to understand your customers like never before, and help you to grow sustainably no matter what the economic conditions are. So I'm sure you're dying to hear more details. You're probably thinking, oh no, this is something else we need to do, another new type of tool. I'd like to ask James to the platform. He's going to tell you some more about it.
Thank you very much, Roy. I'm glad to see you've gone for the shirt tucked in look as well. We both turned up at the venue this morning with our shirts untucked. It's 2023. What is the consensus? Hands up if you think we should tuck them in, please. Ooh, damn it. Okay. So it's always a special moment when you get to release new technology that drives something different. And the thing that excites me most about what we're doing today is the fact that we're making a new discipline possible for marketing. I've been marketing almost all of my career, and we all know that what matters from technology is how you can extract the value from it. So what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about this new discipline of customer advocacy marketing. We believe that all customers will be doing this in the future to drive value from brand fans when they come back for more and bring their friends. So I'm going to take you through the elements of your customer advocacy marketing plan. And the first one really is where we all started out. And a lot of clients in the room have already implemented referral brilliantly with the technology that we have already. So the first element of that plan is making it really easy for people to invite their friends across different channels, whether that's text messaging, any point of the customer journey, whether it's at the checkout, making it really simple, and then optimizing that experience to make sure that you know how to convert a referral when you have the opportunity. But that's only part of the story, because the next bit is a really big missed opportunity. If people are ready to buy maybe 20% of the time, depending on your product, then they should be willing to advocate for you 100% of the time. And the point is that when they're outside of their buying cycle, there's plenty of things you can be doing to get your advocates to work on your behalf. And this is all about driving advocacy across your entire base. So taking specific cohorts of brand fans, working out how to get them working on behalf of your brand. And then the final part is actually taking a step back and understanding with the advocacy data what elements of your brand experience are driving people to talk about you the most. What is it that drives the most excitement? Which points in that customer journey can you invest money and resources and ideas to drive people to speak more about your brand? And then the most important thing of all, measurability. Being able to understand the impact that you're having on your earned growth. And you've heard the previous speakers talk about earned growth as this new way of working out how you leverage your fans to grow your business, and bringing the whole thing together into a cohesive plan that then allows you to drive results. And what that looks like in action is that your customers are the middle of your world, of course. They are the center of your universe. And we take advocacy insights and we take them into the platform. As Roy was talking about, we use AI-powered predictive insights. We feed that through your base, through your marketing automation and other technology stack. And at the end of the day, we drive new high-quality customers who add to your customer base, become more active, improve the quality of your base, and of course, the cycle repeats. And so to bring it to life, I'm not going to give a full demo of the platform. Nat's mentioned at the beginning of the day, there is a demo available, and as a call to action from this entire presentation, we want you to get the time to see the platform in action for yourself. But I'm going to take you through the day in the life of this CRM manager, Alex, at a fictional sports fashion company called Apollo. It obviously applies equally to other categories as well. So you might be in health and beauty, you could be insurance, etc. But this particular character turns up at Apollo and decides that she wants to tackle the 3 big challenges that she faces in her role. And she's had a tough couple of years. Andy was talking about how difficult business is, and it's no exception at Apollo. She needs to grow the size of her marketable customer base. She's struggling to get people to opt in, which means she's struggling then to proactively go and target those individuals and drive value from her customer base. She needs to do a better job of that. She also needs to get customers to repeat purchase. She's running at about 1.15 frequency. She needs to drive it to 1.5 in order to meet her objectives. And again, Andy mentioned this concept of deep discounting, the challenge that a lot of people have had to make to bring people back to buy through deep discounting. Her finance team aren't particularly happy with the economics that she's driving with that approach. And of course, she needs to try and avoid that, but somehow pull a rabbit out of a hat and make people come back to the table and drive value in other ways. She's already done a great job with referral. She's used the Mention Me platform. She's got it up and running. She's integrated it with her marketing automation. That allows her to bring advocacy data directly to where she needs it so that she can drive value through the normal mechanisms that she uses. And not only that, she's able to integrate with some of those vendors. She can integrate more deeply and place advocacy data immediately in the flows. And in some of the integrations that we have the ability to have pre-built workflows that make it really simple for her to adopt. But she also knows that asking people to refer all of the time when they're not spending is not the route to success. There are many more elements to advocacy, as Roy was mentioning a minute ago. And so there are many things you can get your brand fans to do for you, including leaving a review. And that has 2 really important impacts. Obviously, when you ask a brand fan to give you a review, you hope they come back with one like this that says they love everything about Apollo, which is fantastic. It also indicates where that individual is and allows us to make a recommendation that actually they should offer referral at that point as well. But going further with what the fan writes in this place, in the qualitative part, allows us to understand the sentiment of our fans as they're speaking to their customers. So we can see what people are saying when they're giving 5-star reviews. We can see which part of your experience gets people talking, which part of the experience is the reason why your brand is the best one to work with. And we pull that all out, and then we enable Alex to go back and figure out which bits of the customer experience are getting her customers talking. I'm going to skip on and introduce another character called Sarah. Now, Alex and Sarah work together. Sarah is in the paid acquisition team. They often spend time in the coffee queue together. As it turns out, like every marketer, they've got a healthy caffeine addiction. And Alex has been talking to Sarah about how she's got these very high-value customers. They're the biggest value customer segment that she has. If only she could get those people, more of those people within her customer base, everything would be a lot easier. Sarah, on the other hand, wants new ways to optimize her paid acquisition. And so they work together using the Mention Me platform, and they build essentially a cohort of people from which they can build a lookalike audience. That lookalike audience integrates straight into Facebook and enables Sarah to target the people that we know are most likely to love the brand and then do all the wonderful things that we want them to do as advocates. But that's not all. Alex goes further, and we talked about the predictive capabilities of this new platform. And what Alex is finding most useful is the ability to see her advocates. And here what we have is every marketer's dream, understanding what the next 12 months is going to be so that you can understand where to invest your time and resources. On the left-hand side, we have ECR segments and where they are today. On the right-hand side, we're predicting what's going to happen in a year's time. That allows Alex to be able to go in and understand where she's going to invest, where she's going to put her resources, how she can prevent people lapsing. Another fantastic piece that Anka will be talking about in just a few moments' time. And then there's another piece which I think as a marketer is particularly exciting as well, which is this ability to visualize the advocacy networks within your customer base. As marketers, we try and get as close as possible to our audience and really understand behavior. And this essentially is a way within the Mention Me platform to see that behavior in action, how those networks begin, how they grow, how people behave. And then, of course, what we all want to know is what's driving that behavior. So on this particular network here, you can see that there are a number of people who are what Roy would refer to as super spreaders. I don't think that's quite PC in terms of a reference. We also call them dandelion customers because of the pattern that they create. But whatever they're doing, we want them to do more of it, and we want to understand as marketers who they are. And so Alex decides to put them into a VIP launch. She wants to meet these people. She wants to understand what drives them. She may turn them into ambassadors for the brand, and she wants to then replicate that and find more people like them within her base. And all of this is having quite a profound effect on Alex's role. Because of the measurability of her advocacy marketing, she's able to tell the business about the earned growth that they're achieving over time. Highly, highly measurable stuff. And her bosses are beginning to realize that when she comes back to the business asking for more resource and asking for more investment, there really is an investment case here because the economics are totally different. And this is enabling her to win more budget, more time, more resources. And actually, if you see the full demo of this, which I'm going to encourage you to do in a moment, Alex actually gets to the end of the story and is able to hire her first advocacy marketing people, which is fantastic. And so that essentially wraps this up. I've only given you a tiny little snapshot of how the new platform that we're launching today enables you to take advocacy and drive it into an advocacy marketing plan. I would encourage everyone to get a full demo, and I would say that you should do that today. The area is in the far corner over there, opposite the pastries, which I haven't eaten yet. And what I would recommend you do is try and find somebody there to give you a demo that relates to what you're trying to achieve. There's many more things that Alex and her colleagues get up to. I would encourage you to do that. However, it's a busy day and it's a busy room. You can also use the QR code here, and you can book yourself a demo with our team at a later date with your colleagues. So again, we can break it down into exactly what you're trying to achieve. There's another copy of that QR code over on an easel by the demo area. So I'd encourage you all to have a look, get under the skin of it, ask difficult questions. Our team are ready to have that conversation with you. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Anka, who's going to take you into more detail, the next level of detail of some of the amazing new features. Thank you.
Thank you, James, and welcome, everyone. Today marks a key milestone for MentionMe and for our product, and I couldn't be more excited than to be here with you to talk you through all of our innovations in the space. Now, last year, when I was on the stage talking about our launches in the space, we were talking about innovations around propensity to refer. We were talking about innovations around smart audiences, allowing you to use our data to go into and optimize your paid channels. Now, today, we're going to go even further into that journey. So over the next couple of minutes, I will show you how you can put your advocacy marketing plan in practice and also give you a sneak peek into our new launches today, which are, as of about an hour ago, should be available in the MentionMe platform for all of our customers today. Now, James has talked about the 3 building blocks to building a customer advocacy marketing plan: getting people to introduce their friends, driving advocacy across your entire base, and building a business fueled by customer love. Now, over the last couple of years, we've really built a best-in-class platform to help all of your customers introduce their friends and family to your brand. So today, I will talk you through our core launches within these 2 key areas. I'm going to start by looking at how we can enable all of you to identify your advocates so that you can start engaging them to drive advocacy across your entire base. And I'm going to then show you how you can measure the transformational impact of advocacy so that you can build a business fueled by customer love. Now, before we go into the detail, I want to take a quick sneak peek at the launches, a few of our launches
to the
today.
Customer Advocacy Era, and the world's first Customer Advocacy Intelligence Platform. Ready to activate your customer base? We're making advocacy marketing possible for the first time. We start by identifying the most valuable customers in your base, customer advocates. Their value is their spend plus the spend of the people they bring through referral. We call it ECR, or Extended Customer Revenue. We then go further, predicting the future ECR of specific groups, so you can choose the best strategy to maximise their value. We reveal how hidden networks of fans evolve to grow your business. Some contain micro-influencers, some are fast-forming, and others include very high-value customers. Now you're ready to launch your first advocacy marketing campaigns and tactics. So you can grow your brand in a more sustainable, profitable way.
Right, well, I hope that got you. Thank you. And I hope that got you as excited as I am about the unique opportunities we're enabling you today to identify not only existing advocates, but also future brand fans. So let's take a moment to walk through some of those key features. Now, I need to start with the extended customer revenue because this is really core to what we're enabling today. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Obviously, Andy, Roy, they've already covered and talked about the power of getting advocacy data into your existing segmentation to help you identify who your truly brand advocates are. And we have been working with our customers over the last year to help enable core tactics and marketing tactics. So for example, you could be reaching out to your lapsed ECR customers to get them to re-engage with the referral program and get them to introduce and spread the love even further. Or for example, you could take your high ECR customers and enroll them into your existing VIP campaigns and to make sure that you are really talking to the right customer segments. And now we've seen some amazing engagement when working with our customers when they do reach out to these segments, up to 85% higher campaign engagement. And so with that in mind, I am very happy to announce that for the first time, we're able not only to look at the existing ECR, but to make predictions about who your future advocates will be or who is likely to lapse. So now we're getting to the really exciting stuff. Because as a marketing leader, you will want to be able to build a successful advocacy strategy and build it with confidence. But up until now, there was no way of knowing how advocacy was going to take place across your customer base. And we are allowing you, and we are giving you that view in the Mention Me platform today. Using AI and machine learning algorithms, we are able to look and make predictions over the next 12 months around who your future advocates might be. And why is that important? Well, it allows you to take action now so that you can bring their advocacy further and really exceed on some of those predictions. We're also able to identify which of your customers are likely to lapse within the next 12 months. And again, why is that important? Because it allows you to start engaging and nurturing those customers so that they don't leave and then they stay with you. All of the data that we have as well, it is available in the Mention Me platform, and it will help you build a long-term strategy with confidence. I'm very excited to be working and to start working with all of you today and to help you improve and exceed on those predictions. Now, moving on to our next launch today, which has been referenced across a couple of the other presentations, I wanted to talk about network insights. Again, this is available for all of our existing customers in the platform. You are able to go in, log in, and check what your top networks look like. Look at those customers that are spreading the love. So with the Network Insights dashboard, what we are able to do is reveal hidden networks of fans within your customer base. No other platform is able to do that today. And what you can do with this is really go beyond those individual customers to looking at nurturing valuable networks so that you can grow and replicate and build more of those over time. And we've been running several brainstorm sessions with our customers over the last couple of months, and really the creative opportunities here are endless. You are able, for example, to spot micro-influencers within your base so that you can start building a targeted marketing plan for those. You are able to start conversations with your biggest advocates, for example, to collect feedback or really try to understand what makes them love your brand. You're also able to use these networks to create lookalike audiences and bring more like that to your business. Or, for example, you could dig deeper into some of the core features of those networks to make sure that you can replicate and build more like those. Now, all of the data, most of the data that we've talked about today and that we're launching today is also seamlessly connected into best-in-class CRM platforms through our amazing partnership network. So there really is no effort on your side to get access to the data. You can go in and start building your flows straight away. But now I mentioned at the beginning that I'm going to show you how you can measure the impact of all of these tactics that you have just enabled. So let's have another quick look at our launches in this area.
Welcome to the Customer Advocacy Era and the world's first Customer Advocacy Intelligence Platform. Ready to build customer love? Create an experience your customers love using Gen AI recommendations. Measure the transformational impact advocacy has on your business. With dashboards that help you optimize the performance of your advocacy marketing activities. And enable you to foresee where next to invest your efforts. So you can maximize the earned growth of your business, making customer advocacy marketing a core pillar of your strategy.
Right. Now that you've enabled all of those key valuable tactics within your marketing plan, you will need a way to be able to measure the impact that's had on your business growth and also the immediate impact of those individual tactics. So when we think about measuring advocacy, we think about both quantitative and qualitative measures. And I often think that the qualitative measurement is much more powerful because it really gives the context and the background behind the numbers. It gives that kind of true sense of those customers that are behind the growth of your business. And so I wanted to first then talk about our sentiment analysis dashboard, which is really that qualitative measurement that we use to measure advocacy. Now, Roy has talked about the AI revolution, and we are making sure that we are ahead of the curve, and we are leveraging the power of AI in any parts of the product where we're able to do so. Now, using generative AI, we can now show you what your customers really think and feel about your brand. And what we do is we take customer feedback, and we use today verbatim from NPS surveys, for example, and we analyze that, and we give you insights and recommendations on things that you can do and tactics that you can enable to deliver and improve on those customer experiences. We're also looking into the future to add more customer feedback in there. For example, we are actively working on adding some of the referral sharing messages that happen between your customers and their friends, and we will be bringing more of that data to help enrich this view for all of you. Now, we are also launching today a few advocacy dashboards that will really allow you to track your overall business performance and help you track the individual performance of those individual campaigns. And this really gives you an overall view of your current state of advocacy and will allow you to monitor that revenue growth over time. And then finally, I am very excited to announce that we are today launching earned growth as a measurement in the Mention Me platform as an open beta. And Fred has already talked about earned growth. It is really the best way that you can look at measuring the sustainable growth for your business. And essentially, it allows you to see how much your business would grow if you didn't spend anything on sales and marketing, for example. We are the first platform to introduce earned growth into the platform, but we are not able to do and expand on it without all of your support. So my key call to action today is to get all of our existing customers to join our open beta, and with your help, we can unlock future optimizations such as industry benchmarking, or more tactical recommendations. So please sign up to our beta program today using the QR code, or let us know throughout the day, or have a go at our demo booths as well, so you can actually see what it looks like in the platform. And so that's a wrap on our product launches today. And I really hope that you're very excited, as I am, to go in and explore, and if you're not already an existing customer, to join us to take advantage of all of our innovations in the space. Now, looking ahead, we are going to continue to invest on this advocacy journey. We are looking at ways where we can help you unlock more potential from your brand fans. And so over the next 12 months or so, we will be continuing to look at ways that we can segment your existing customer base to really understand where they are on that advocacy journey with your brand. We're going to continue to invest in our connection hub and make sure that we are well integrated, not only within the MarTech ecosystem, but really beyond that, to enable you to leverage the advocacy data across other parts of your business. And then we're also always on the lookout at ways we can leverage AI to help drive better recommendations for you and really help you enable to get that next best action that you can take to grow your business sustainably. And we cannot do that without your help. And we have an amazing Mention Me Labs program. And I'd love to get all of you involved. So if you are keen to get involved with our product team in any future product features that we might be working on, do let us know on product@mentionme.com. And together, we can shape the future of marketing. Thank you.
Thanks, Anke. Thanks, Anke. So just to kind of finish off for a couple of minutes to wrap up, I hosted roundtables with about 50 CMOs about 4 or 5 months ago, and we talked about, they understood the value of advocacy. They understood, whenever we explained the value of earned channels, but why did you not invest more time in that? Where do you spend your time? And say, well, probably 80% of our resources go into looking after our paid channels. Well, why is that? We just can't measure it. We can't understand if the return on investment we put into helping to grow advocacy, helping to get people talking about the brand is really worth it. We can't measure it, so it's very hard to justify it. Today, we've built a platform that allows you to measure it for the first time, that allows you to understand your earned growth that Fred talked about, allows you to understand how your advocacy is growing and how to nurture it. We're only getting started. We can't wait to show you even next year what we're doing. So again, if you get a chance to get up to the demo booth and take a look today. If not, please contact any of the product team. We can set up a demo going forward. But thank you very much for your time today.